Come on now. I know you got one in you. Got a question. This is my brother. You got to know him beside you? Okay, come on. We will come around. The mic is open.
My question is,
tell us your name and the name of your product, your business.
All right, so my name is Brendan Lee. The business is Omnipotent Africa. My question to you is, I watch you. I've been around. I love it. From the Tacoma station, Tacoma area to Ivy City, you got it going on.
Thank you so much.
So my just question is, how do you feel day to day? When I ask you that, because as you know, going to work, being on autopilot, being redundant in your routine is tiring. I was actually speaking with one of my patients at work about just how I feel on day, because he was like, "Hey, you look so down." But I just want to ask you, how do you feel on your day to day? What's your feeling?
I feel free. I feel so free. I feel retired almost, right? I joke with my friends, or my friends joke with me about that. Because, clearly I'm running a business, right? Like there's the Spice Suite, there's my nonprofit Dream Incubator that runs my farmers market and my community business school. There's Something Sweet, which is my tea and coffee shop, which is new. I've never even tasted coffee before, right? And I'm running a coffee and tea shop. Still have never tasted it. There's the Spice Girls, there's my staff, I'm a mom, right? So there's so many things to do. But because I have really good people on my team that I trust to do their jobs, and they do their jobs well, I don't have to do their jobs. I just get to do the creative side of the business. So I really kind of sit in the seat of like creative director of all of these things. And I get to dream out loud and think of really cool things and different elements and, do things like this. In my time, I spend a lot of time with like men and women who've been formerly incarcerated. So I volunteer with them a lot. I take my community business school to them because they typically are court involved, so they can't come to my classes. I go into the jails with the young people. So I get to do things like that, which feel really freeing for me. So I'm not tied to my business. I don't work at the Spice Suite, so I'm not like there. I go by sometimes and take pictures in the mirror and post on Instagram and look like I'm there because people want to see me there. But I'm not at the business. So I don't feel tethered to it. I travel. I've been to about 43 countries in the past 10 years. I take my kids all over the world. So I really get to just do a lot of what I really want to do at this point in business. It's been about 6 years since I've had to work at the Spice Suite. But I also tell people what you chase most relentlessly is what you'll get first. And I was chasing freedom before the money. And then I got free, and then it was like, okay, I can't be free and broke because I ain't got nothing to do with it. So now I need to get money. And so then the money came, right? So then things like that started to come along. And even things like that, a lot of it is just relational. Like the retail side of the business is, of course, D2C, right? Like the customers are coming in, they're buying it, they online. We have this kind of hype beast model and how we do things online where we drop products with limited amount. It creates this scarcity. People love it. They run to the website, they buy it. Has worked for us for a long time. But then when it comes to the other part of the business, our grants and things that we have allow me, a lot more flexibility financially. So times like this where the economy is wild, right? Yes. It's slow. Yes. It's super slow. This has been the slowest year. The past 16 months in business have probably been the slowest we've had in the 10 years that I've been in business. So we are not shielded from that. I think most business owners right now are feeling that, but we also have the nonprofit that keeps us afloat. And even I didn't look for grant money. I just been running my farmers market and letting Black farmers come and sell their stuff for free. I have been doing my community business school out of my house and at the Spice Suite for free and figuring out a way to run it. I wasn't looking for money. I didn't even have a nonprofit. MasterCard came along. I didn't even know the former vice president of MasterCard was a customer. Didn't know that. And she's like, who's backing this? And I was like, I'm bootstrapping this.
Not your idea.
Yeah, the work.
Back
and I was like, it's me.
Yes.
And she was like, nobody corporate has got putting their money behind this. And I was like, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, well, come on.
I just been doing the work.
Yes.
And she was like, oh, we need to fund this. I want in. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, yeah, we're going to do this. I didn't even write a grant application. Never logged in. Still don't know how. I've never logged into a MasterCard portal. But remember,
she was a customer. She was a customer.
She did it.
She saw what you was doing. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people wait for someone. Mm-hmm. I'm knowing you. You've been doing it. And those right people come to you.
Yeah.
How do you determine the right person?
It's not really a determining of the right person, right?
Unpack
Like, you the vice president of MasterCard, you the right person.
Not
Your job title makes you the right person.
Not just her. Because, see, but you have uplifts. And I'll be real with you, right? Because sometimes you want to help people and they're not ready for the help that you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's happened to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what can you kind of unpack that for us? How do you know a person is ready for the help that you are?
So I'm not looking to help people.
Okay.
Right? People are coming to me because they're ready for help.
They're
so
ready.
It's like I'm not
Y'all
out.
heard that, right?
You know, I'm not out in the street asking people to sign up for class.
Okay.
Or, you know, can you come pop up with me? We have literally hundreds of people waiting to pop up. So
And how do you decide
these Spice
that
Girls,
they're ready?
I mean, at this point, it's a different process. Like in the beginning, people who popped up multiple times, we would have them, you know, they could pop up again and then again and again, and then they could say they want to be a Spice Girl, and we welcome them. Now, because there's so many Spice Girls, they kind of run it themselves.
Okay.
So they decide. So I'm not even involved in that anymore. Like the Spice Girls decide who they want to join the tribe. They, you know, people submit like a quick video. They do a whole little background.
There's a selection process because a lot of times we want to help people, right? And sometimes in trying to help, we can literally, I mean, even I'm telling you for me, there are times in my restaurant, I literally thought I was giving someone an opportunity, and I wasn't, because they weren't ready for the opportunity that I saw more in them than they were ready for. Yeah. And it got to a point where they were messed up, I was messed up, because there was not a match moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, that happens, right? But I don't, you know, I tend to not dwell in this stuff like that because it just happens. Like, that's the stuff you expect to happen.
Okay.
Like, if it's surprise, I think heavily about the things that surprise me. That would surprise me.
Well, tell us one that surprised you. Tell us one of those surprises. Y'all want to hear a surprise, right? Come on, tell us. You want to hear a surprise? Come on. We want to hear a surprise.
I honestly, I would have to think really hard about something that has like surprised me in business. Like, I've had Spice Girls who've left. And they didn't leave amicably, you know, it wasn't a peaceful dissolution. And some of those surprised me because it's such a beautiful opportunity, I think. And, you know, they get all the perks of it. You know, they all get to go on TV. Like, I don't go anywhere without bringing them along, right? I don't go on any platform, whether it's Sway or CBS, whatever it is. I say the Spice Girls. I mention the Spice Girls. If there's a local something happening, I always say how many of them can come with me, right? I got an email from Netflix last night, and they're like, we want to, you know, they're doing a thing, and I can't mention all the details, but they're doing a show and they want to showcase my products and things. And I was like, well, if you're showcasing Black products, I got some Spice Girls. Can you bring it? Right. So I always bring them along.
You're right.
So when those relationships don't work out, those are shocking to me.
Yeah.
But like, people, you know, employees who leave and they're disgruntled, or you didn't, you know, you wanted to help them and they didn't want the help. That's so typical. Like, I get that. I expect that to happen. I'm not losing sleep over that.
As an entrepreneur, when I was just getting started, I was literally like, why can't you see this opportunity? And it wasn't an opportunity for them. Yeah. So, any questions? Got one back here? Tell us who you are and your product. Hey, sister.
Hey, so I'm Dr. Pleasure meeting you. I'm the founder and creator of Dromelico popcorn snacks. And I wanted just to say a couple of things to you, because you hit on a couple of things that really resonate with me. One is about, I had it right down, the delegation. When did you learn to delegate your responsibilities to someone else? Because as a solopreneur, typically you're doing the back-end stuff, creating the website, and or creating all the variations of the variations and the variations. Yeah. When did you learn to delegate that responsibility, number one? What did you do yourself?
So let me answer that one. So I did my first website myself. I was in the store mixing spices myself, bottling, labeling, writing on them, because I couldn't even afford labels for every single, you know, product that I had, and I would come up with so many new ideas. I didn't even have time to like print them and wait for them, so I would just write on them with chalkboard markers on the labels. And so I was doing everything myself for a long time. And then I eventually was able to afford a co-packer. So in the food space, the co-packer, I send them my recipes for a spice. They try to create it on their own. And if they send me a sample, and if I say, yep, y'all nailed it, then we go into production. And then they send me hundreds, thousands, you know, however many of them I need. So I don't have to do it myself anymore. So that was one of the first, like, things I delegated was outsourcing, like how I can get the spices, but that took a long time because nobody wanted to take a risk on me, like as a small business and a small pond, like a small fish in a big pond of spices, right? Like when you think of spices, you think of like McCormick and Mrs. Dash. So, and those are the facilities, like the places they go to are the people who I need to go to. And they like, girl, you need 250. McCormick needs 250 pallets, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't have time to do that little, you girl, go over there and do that in your kitchen. So it was really hard to get them to take a chance on me. And I didn't get a chance to get like full-blown relationships with my co-packers for my olive oil, my honey, my spices until during COVID. Because for them, it was slowing down. So the co-packers had a little bit of time and I started reaching out heavy because we were crazy busy during COVID.
Yes,
we made millions of dollars during COVID. Like it was super crazy for us. And so I'm like, now I can go to these co-packers because now I can meet your minimums. Even if I can't maintain it, I'm going to get in. And so what I did was they would give you a net 60 or net 90. And I'm like, nope, I'm paying up front, right? Because I want to flex. I got to show them that like, I can do this, right? Because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to always be able to do this and pay up front. But at least for a couple years while I know this money's coming in, I'm going to pay up front and establish a relationship so that now they like, you know, they follow me on Instagram and they kind of believe in me and they're rooting for me. And so even though I'm placing smaller orders, like now when it's slow, they still are okay with it. And so that was the first thing I delegated. The first professional role that I delegated was an accountant because I knew I wanted to grow my money and I needed somebody who fully understood it better than I could and somebody who could forecast it and help me to save and figure out like what my money's doing. And so my first accountant, I had a bunch of accountants and they were all trash. And now my accountant that I have, they're out of Texas, so they're not even here. So we just meet on Zoom. But they've been with me for years and they're amazing. And they only work with 7-figure businesses. So they know how to help me grow my business and how to talk about my money in a way that makes sense. And one of the most valuable things they taught me that I always tell other people, the model that my accountants use was profit first. It's based on a book. So I tell people if you're starting out or if you're still doing your accounting yourself, to read the book Profit First or Google it and get, you know, the notes that you need from it. But use that model to set up your banking system to help you to do your own accounting until you can afford to outsource it.
I love it. I love it.
One thing I wanted to say to you was that the frequency of your thoughts determine the quality of your life. And you said that you chased freedom first. And then everything else came afterwards.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you really sharing that part of you, the authentic self, and talking about that journey because again, what you think actually ultimately becomes.
Sure.
And so along the journey, I can just see how wonderful a person you are, number one.
Thank you.
But that money was not your main motivator, but it was something that allowed you to do everything that you're doing now. So thank you.
Awesome. Yes. I love it. Jimmy Juice is in town, y'all. She's in the house. So yeah, you got another question? Yes. Huh?
Yeah. I heard you say your first when you went to, you told the guy you wanted to open, but you wasn't gonna pay him up front. It's not like
No. I was gonna pay him. I just didn't have a business plan. I didn't have any financials. Yeah.
Okay, so did you like start like did he let you just open up and then like figure it out from there?
Yeah, I just figured it out. I had like furniture in there from like thrift stores and, you know, my uncles and his friends from Kennedy Street came up there to help me paint. And, you know, we just figured it out and it made it look like something. It was just so interesting when I look at old pictures of like the design and the decor and all the things. I have a million things in there when I first opened. And I remember even when I first started selling olive oil and balsamic, like I didn't even think to do that at first. And one of my homegirls was in Germany and she went into a store where they allowed her to do a balsamic and olive oil tasting in the store, and she called me and she's like, Angel, you have to sell balsamic and olive oil. And I was like, okay.
For you.
And like I was just like, okay, like I'm open to suggestions. And so I ordered these like glass, like almost like juice dispensers off of Amazon. And then of course I learned that is not what you should be doing. Like there's a thing called a fusti, right? Like there's an actual container for balsamic and olive oil, but then I looked at the price of it and I'm like, we're gonna rock with this glass for a while. And then we're gonna get these stainless beautiful things later. But we started with that and then we just grew, right? And then at some point, during COVID, when we had to close, I went and looked in my kitchen and I was like, I want my name on everything. I was like, I want the spice suite on everything. Like, why can't people have a fully black-owned kitchen?
Yeah.
Your cast iron skillet, your measuring cup, your dough scooper, your garlic press, your forks, knives, plates, spoons, everything. I want it to be black-owned. I'm like, we've been supporting Rachel Ray and, you know, all these people that become famous all the time. Marcus Stewart has featured me in his, you know,
but you know, hey,
to the spice suite. But like, we've been supporting all these white businesses for so long, and we'd be so proud to have their brands in our kitchen. And I'm like, I can do this. And so I spent time like designing and thinking about what I wanted these products to look like and feel like. And so when we reopened, like fully after COVID, we reopened as like the Black Williams Sonoma, where I had a full line of kitchenware in addition to all the other like food adornments that we sell.
Yeah, I'm loving this. Y'all loving it too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get you a little longer, right? Because so I want to share her because she walked through this universe giving, right? And so I want to make sure this is a giving space too. So are there any other questions? Because I have a few. All right, let's see if there's someone else, and then I come to you. Anybody else? Yes, sister. Thank you.
I'm Kira. Not started yet, peace. But definitely inspired by all of y'all. I think your mall is amazing. So where did you get the idea of the design as in the
shipping container?
Yes, the shipping container.
Good question.
So I have a shipping container in my backyard that I bought during COVID because I just needed more space. And I thought it was going to be like a den thing, but it now turned into like art. I'm an art collector, so it turned into like an art gallery / den. It's just like a TV, chairs, and art all over the walls in my container with like a rooftop deck on it. So I've always like loved the idea of the container. And during COVID, when I bought that container from my backyard, I got it from a company in Texas, and it was cheap, even for them to ship it here because it was during COVID, right? So I think people were just excited for any sort of business. So when I decided to turn Shannon Street, when I bought that block, 22nd and Shannon Street in Northeast, and I was like, I want to redevelop this and turn this into a strip mall, and I want to use shipping containers. I'm like, I'm going to go back to the people in Texas because they were cheap. The prices went up. So I said, I'm going to go to people in Texas. We're going to find somebody here. So I was looking for a black team to create this space here. So I called on friends of mine. One of my childhood friends was my real estate agent. She had never done commercial before, but I was like, if anybody's going to get commission on a 7-figure acquisition, it's going to be my homegirl.
That's right.
So you're going to do your first commercial deal. And one of my close friends is a real estate attorney. So I was like, yeah, walk her through this deal because we're going to get this done together. One of my childhood friends, I remember her saying, we hadn't talked in years, but I remember her saying she was in school for architecture. So I'm like, can you do the plans and get somebody at your firm to stamp them? Like, I need you to get the money on, so then civil engineer, a black woman, my electrician was a black woman, my plumber was a black man, all black people. And then we had brought in some Hispanics at the end of the project. But I was really happy to be able to do that project in that way. And so the idea for the shipping containers came from the inspiration from my backyard, but it was also a way for me to bring in a quick way for me to be able to bring in as many commercial spaces as I could, and to give people their own individual spaces because I knew I wanted them to be salons, but I didn't want it to feel like a salon suite where you walk into this one big building and everybody just has an individual door. Like I wanted the owners to feel like they had their own spaces with their own lock and key, their own bathroom, their own hours, they can operate individually. And so that's where that idea came from. And I knew I wanted it black because the name was going to be Black and Forth. And I treat it like like food is fashion is our motto. And so I treat the design the same way.